Let me tell you something. I studied.
You did?
Yes, sir.
Did they accept you as an American coming into their world?
No.
They did not?
In front of Tosha, I don't want to tell the truth, but back in those days, they were a very xenophobic country.
After his death, Steven Seagal breaks a silence many believed would last forever. And what he reveals about Chuck Norris is nothing short of explosive. 0:25 seconds. For decades, these two icons of martial arts cinema were surrounded by rumors, rivalry, and unspoken tension. But now, 0:34 seconds from beyond the grave, a chilling account emerges, filled with unexpected truths, hidden conflicts, and startling confessions. 0:46 seconds. Fans are left questioning everything they thought they knew. What happened between them? And why did it take death for this shocking revelation to surface? 0:57 seconds. When the unbreakable finally fell. 1:011 1 second. For decades, Chuck Norris had stood as something more than a man. He was a symbol of strength, discipline, and near mythical endurance. 1:121 12 seconds. So when confirmation arrived, it didn't feel real at first. It felt like a mistake the world refused to accept. 1:211 21 seconds. On March 20, 2026, his family released a quiet but definitive statement. Chuck. 1:281 28 seconds. Norris had passed away the day before on March 19 at the age of 86 in Kauai. 1:351 35 seconds. Hawaii. The cause was not disclosed. 1:381 38 seconds. Only described as the result of a medical emergency. There were no dramatic details, no extended explanations, just a few carefully 1:481 48 seconds chosen words that carried enormous weight. And then everything shifted. 1:531 53 seconds. Within minutes, the news spread across continents. Social media flooded with disbelief. 2:012 1 second. Fans questioned whether it was true. 2:032 3 seconds. Refreshing pages, searching for confirmation, hoping for correction. 2:092 9 seconds. For many, Chuck Norris wasn't just another public figure. He was the embodiment of resilience itself. The 2:172 17 seconds idea that he could be gone felt almost impossible to process. News outlets moved quickly, interrupting regular 2:262 26 seconds programming to report the loss. Martial artists, actors, and public figures began sharing tributes, each one echoing 2:342 34 seconds. The same stunned tone. Some spoke of his influence in shaping modern martial arts. Others remembered the quiet 2:422 42 seconds discipline behind his public image. But beneath every message was the same emotion. 2:492 49 seconds. Shock. Because Chuck Norris, music, had never seemed fragile. From his early days as a martial artist to his rise in 2:572 57 seconds. Hollywood, he built a reputation that blurred the line between reality and legend. His roles were defined by 3:053 5 seconds. Control, precision, and strength. Over time, that image grew beyond the screen. 3:133 13 seconds, turning into something larger than life. 3:163 16 seconds. He became the man people joked could never be defeated. The figure who always stood firm no matter the challenge. And that is what made the moment so heavy. 3:273 27 seconds. The reality of his passing forced a sudden shift from legend to human, from myth to memory. For those who had 3:363 36 seconds followed his journey, it felt like losing something permanent, something that had always been there. Even those who had never met him felt the absence. 3:463 46 seconds. In martial arts circles, the reaction carried a deeper weight. Many credited him with opening doors, setting 3:543 54 second standards, and shaping the global perception of discipline and strength. 3:593 59 seconds. His influence wasn't just visible, it was foundational. But as tributes continued to pour in, one thing stood: 4:074 7 seconds out. Amid all the voices, all the memories, and all the public grief, for 144 14 seconds, there was a silence that began to draw attention. A silence from someone many expected to speak. And as that silence 4:234 23 seconds stretched, the focus slowly began to shift. In martial arts circles, his influence defined discipline and 4:314 31 second strength worldwide. But as tributes grew louder, one silence stood out. who stayed quiet when everyone expected 4:404 minutes, 40 seconds words. And what truth was that silence hiding? Let's unravel the truth. For 474 minutes, 47 seconds, the silence that spoke loudest. As tributes continued to echo across the world, one absence became impossible to 4:554 minutes, 55 seconds ignore. Steven Seagal had not spoken. In the hours following the confirmation of Chuck Norris' death on March 20, 2026, 5:065 minutes, 6 seconds, voices from across the martial arts and film communities had stepped forward, 5:115 minutes, 11 seconds each, offering memories, respect, and grief. 5:165 minutes, 16 seconds, but Seagal remained quiet, and that silence began to carry its own weight. For many it was unexpected. 5:255 minutes, 25 seconds, both men had long been linked in public conversation, often placed side by side as figures who helped define martial 5:325 minutes, 32 seconds arts in Western cinema. Their names had been compared, contrasted, and debated for years. 5:405 minutes, 40 seconds, so when one was gone, attention naturally turned to the other. Yet as time passed, there was nothing. 5:495 minutes, 49 seconds, no immediate statement, no brief message, just stillness. Speculation. 5:555 minutes, 55 seconds began to build. Some believed the delay was a sign of something deeper, that Seagal was choosing his words. 6:036 minutes, 3 seconds, carefully, aware that anything he said would be closely examined. Others wondered if the silence reflected 6:106 minutes, 10 seconds distance rather than grief, a sign that their connection had not been as strong as many assumed. The longer the pause lasted, the more questions it raised. 6:216 minutes, 21 seconds, then without warning the silence broke. Seagal's statement did not arrive with the usual simplicity of public. 6:286 minutes, 28 seconds, music, tributes. It came through a controlled release, measured and deliberate, as if every word had been 6:356 minutes, 35 seconds weighed before being spoken. He acknowledged Norris's passing with respect. But the tone was different from 6:426 minutes, 42 seconds, what many expected. It was not just reflective. It was layered, carrying a sense of complexity that stood apart. 6:516 minutes, 51 seconds, from the straightforward messages shared by others. He spoke of Norris not only as a public figure but as a man shaped. 6:596 minutes, 59 seconds, by discipline, pressure, and expectations that extended far beyond what people could see. There was recognition in his 7:087 minutes, 8 seconds words, but also something else, a subtle shift that suggested there were parts of Norris's life and character that had 7:167 minutes, 16 seconds, never fully reached the public. Those who read the statement closely noticed it immediately. The language was careful, but it hinted at experiences, 7:277 minutes, 27 seconds, moments, and perspectives that had remained out of view. It did not challenge Norris's legacy, but it added 7:347 minutes, 34 seconds weight to it, as though Seagal was pointing toward a version of the man that existed behind the image. Everyone. 7:417 minutes, 41 seconds knew. Reactions followed quickly. Some viewed the message as deeply respectful, 7:477 minutes, 47 seconds, an honest reflection shaped by personal understanding. Others felt a quiet tension within it, as if certain truths. 7:557 minutes, 55 seconds, were being acknowledged without being fully revealed. And as that interpretation spread, the focus began to shift once again, not just toward 8:048 minutes for seconds, what Seagal had said, but toward what he might have meant. Reactions spread fast. 8:118 minutes, 11 seconds, some saw respect, others sensed hidden tension. But what was truly being said beneath the surface? As attention shifts. 8:218 minutes, 21 seconds, still meaning, one question remains. What truth is still waiting to be uncovered? 8:278 minutes, 27 seconds, let's find out. The truth beneath the legend. 8:328 minutes, 32 seconds, as attention tightened around Steven Seagal's words, the meaning behind his statement began to unfold in a way few. 8:388 minutes, 38 seconds had anticipated. What initially sounded like a measured tribute slowly revealed a deeper layer, one that reached beyond 8:468 minutes, 46 seconds, public memory, and into the private reality of Chuck Norris's life. It was not delivered as a direct revelation, 8:548 minutes, 54 seconds, but through careful phrasing that invited interpretation rather than certainty. Seagal did not speak in dramatic claims or bold declarations. 9:0:59 minutes, 5 seconds. Instead, he described Norris in a way that felt grounded, almost restrained. 9:119 minutes, 11 seconds. He acknowledged the discipline, the consistency, and the influence that had defined Norris's career. But within 9:189 minutes, 18 seconds, those acknowledgments was a subtle shift. He pointed toward a version of Norris that existed away from cameras and public expectations. 9:289 minutes, 28 seconds. A man shaped by pressures that were rarely discussed. For decades, Chuck Norris had been presented as a 9:369 minutes, 36 seconds unshakable figure. His image was built on control, strength, and quiet authority. From martial arts tournaments 9:449 minutes, 44 seconds to film sets, he carried a presence that appeared steady and unwavering. That image became so strong that at almost 9:529 minutes, 52 seconds replaced the person behind it. Over time, the line between reality and reputation blurred, leaving little room for anything else. 10:0210 minutes, 2 seconds. Seagal's words began to challenge that simplicity. He hinted that their relationship had never been defined by a single label. Music, it was not a clear rivalry nor was it a close friendship. 10:1410 minutes, 14 seconds. Instead, it existed somewhere in between, shaped by mutual awareness and professional distance. They moved within 10:2310 minutes, 23 seconds. The same world, influenced similar audiences, and were often compared. Yet their paths rarely intersected in a way that allowed for deeper connection. 10:3410 minutes, 34 seconds. There was respect, but it was measured. 10:3810 minutes, 38 seconds. There was distance, but it was understood. 10:4110 minutes, 41 seconds. That complexity stood in contrast to what the public had long believed. For years, music, discussions around the 10:4810 minutes, 48 seconds. Two men had been simplified into narratives of competition or comparison. 10:5310 minutes, 53 seconds. Audiences were drawn to the idea of rivalry, music, encouraged by media portrayals that placed them on opposite 11:0111 minutes, 1 second sides of the same space. But Seagal's reflection suggested something far less defined. It pointed toward parallel journeys rather than direct opposition. 11:1211 minutes, 12 seconds. Toward lives that were shaped by similar forces but experienced in different ways. More importantly, he suggested 11:2011 minutes, 20 seconds. That Norris carried more than what was visible. Without offering specific details, Seal's tone implied that the 11:2811 minutes, 28 seconds weight of expectation, reputation, and personal responsibility had played a larger role in Norris's life than most 11:3611 minutes, 36 seconds people realized. It was not framed as a struggle in the traditional sense, but as a quiet, ongoing pressure that came 11:4311 minutes, 43 seconds with being seen as something more than human. That idea began to resonate. If Chuck Norris had been viewed through the 11:5111 minutes, 51 seconds lens of strength alone, then what would have been missed in the process? What parts of his life had remained unseen? 11:5911 minutes, 59 seconds, because the world had already decided who he was supposed to be. As those questions surfaced, the focus shifted. 12:0712 minutes, 7 seconds. Once again, moving beyond admiration and into something more reflective, more uncertain,